Look, it could have gone either way, and we really kept fighting. I couldn't be more proud of the way we just kept fighting right to the end. I sort of feel like if there was another 2 minutes, we would have come through maybe, but not to be. I think we did a couple of silly errors in that second quarter, and probably, they were able to get some, ball into Grace, and we needed to pressure everything. So when we did that and we stuck to our game plan, we actually competed really well, but it just wasn't meant to be today.
You mentioned keep fighting, Jane. You had to keep fighting all season. You started off 3 losses. It's been a real grind. What has this season been like to be a part of? You touched on it a bit up there, how tough it's been.
Yeah, totally. It's been very tough, and that just shows, I guess, the calibre of netballers in New Zealand. Every match has been fairly close. So it's good. It's good for netball in New Zealand. You can't help hope for anything else. That just makes you better. And yeah, next year's a new year.
And what's it like defending against Grace? Out there, it looks like it's probably the worst job in the world. Just keep turning around and going again.
Yeah, you do. Look, it's a challenge. They've done some really good work. They can feed her very well. She's got the height over most people in the competition, so yeah, definitely a hard one to mark. But I guess that just makes our job, out the front, right through court, a whole lot. We need to be, I guess, what's the word? Just on everything a lot more. Put a lot of pressure on to force some errors. Yeah.
Just lastly from me for both of you, how is the feeling now compared to the feeling last year? Obviously 2 very different types of finals.
I think I actually feel content that we gave it all we could, whereas last year I don't think we played up to our potential. So I feel like we did the right prep leading in, so that wasn't an issue. It was just we've had close games with these the whole time through. It's just been 1 goal either way and things like that. So, it would have been, for us, I think we needed to sort of get up on the board a little bit sooner, and then we would have, it felt like we were fighting the whole way through, having to sort of claw back a couple of goals. So, yeah.
And Marianne, you made a change with Ericana coming on at wing attack. What were you hoping to get out of that change?
Yeah, so when Ericana comes on, she has quite a bit of leadership, and she just settles that attack down. Simone's quite explosive and dynamic, so it's just a nice change up for us. And I do think when she came on, she added value, and we had a really good third, fourth quarter. I think we won the last half, so if we just had got a couple more goals in that first half. But she does bring just something completely different to Simone.
And do you think there was a key moment in that last half where it sort of didn't quite go your way, and I guess it went the way of the Mystics?
Yeah, there were a couple of times I think where we should have shot at goal and we didn't. We passed off and they got a couple of tips. I think those ones kind of hurt us. Those, where we could have actually shot a goal and we passed it away. So.
And just talking about the pride you have in your team, as mentioned, 3 losses to start the season. Does that build character heading in towards finals? Absolutely.
I think, from being the favourites to being like, oh dear. And then I think everyone just didn't back us. It felt like when we lost those 3 games, no one backed us anymore, but we backed ourselves. And I think as a group, it's quite powerful when you know that you've got this belief inside your team that you can do it. And then we've managed to just ride that wave, and there's been, as usual, there's all sorts of things going on off the court. Every team has that same thing. You don't know with this many people in a team, the things that are going on in their lives as well as, on the court. It's quite huge. And we had times where we had to travel for I think you were there, 10 hours to Rotorua, things like that, the rescheduled game. But, we are battle hardened, and I think to have the ability to nearly take that game when they have such a weapon as Grace, I think it shows the culture of the team and it shows the fortitude that we have.
And Joan, just to finally, I just want to talk about that partnership with Carden. It is, like you've mentioned, tough to get ball off Grace, but you guys got some really good tips today. Do you feel like that, you've really found your stride with that partnership with Carden towards the end of the season?
Yeah, I think we definitely got better towards the end of the season. I'm still, I strive for excellence, I guess. So there's always something I think we need to work on. But it's definitely come a long way. So it's forming quite nicely.
Okay. What What did you say to the girls at halftime when you had lost the first 2 quarters, that then you guys really came to life in that 3rd quarter? What were you saying to them?
We just always do a bit of a reset. We just focused on, we did a couple of things well, but we needed to tidy up a couple of areas. So one of it was we got quite wide on attack in that first half, and when we had someone coming through the middle, it actually created really good options for us. So that was like some sort of like technical thing, but just that we were still in the game, because 5 goals isn't a lot. So just keeping to our like fight and keeping all of that alive, because we thought that if we ground them out a little bit more that we might be in that last quarter. So we kind of knew that we could get close to them, and if we stayed with them that we'd have a go at them.
Yeah, and Jane, that 3rd quarter as well, you guys, I think it got down to, you were down 7 and then you brought it back to within 2. You had that spurt. What do you think brought that on in the Tactix?
That's a good question. I think, we've always got a fight, but it's when everyone's sort of firing at the same time which really makes it, I think, happen. And especially the defence from our attackers right the way through. When that pressure's on, I think we're really humming, it helps us a lot.
Yeah, and obviously just before racing week, it's pretty hard to defend someone who's about 4 metres tall. What was your approach coming in? I guess you knew that she was going to be there and she was going to be a big threat, so what was your plan to try and subdue her?
Yeah, look, we are very unit focused in our team, and I think that is the key. We need to be able to shut down key feeders or put the pressure on outside the circle so that the passer is pressured before it actually gets in there. Trying to hunt high and actually get the ball before it gets into the circle.
In that 4th quarter, you girls started to struggle a bit more to get the ball into the circle. Can you talk a bit about the Mystics' defence and what they brought in that 4th quarter?
Yeah, they did a great job of confusing that space, and they actually caught on to the in and outs that Tactix was doing, and I think we just didn't adapt early enough to actually changing that pass or having a different option or sealing off and presenting a little bit better to the ball.
Yeah, and just finally, your fans, like every time you girls got an intercept, it was like you were on home court. I mean, they were immense for you today. Can you talk a bit about them?
Oh yeah, look, it's amazing. I was really surprised by the amount of people who have actually flown up to support us. So yeah, thank you to all our fans. It's been incredible. We don't play just because for ourselves. We play for everybody. Like I said in my speech, it's about the collective, and they're really a big part of this.
Marianne, resilience has been probably a big part of your team over the last few years, and I guess how is that gonna change it all in terms of coming back next year even stronger, or is that something you're going to be sticking to in terms of maybe trying to get that win?
Yeah, I think it's part of us. We are, we've had a lot of things, and it does shape who we are, and it does shape what we do. But I think definitely next year you'll see us bigger, badder, stronger, more red, more black. I think we've got things to work on. Definitely we want to have a better start next year, so that would be the first thing. But yeah, we just want to keep getting better. That's what's kept us going this year. We've just, game by game, we've wanted to perform better, and that's how we've got to where we've got here, is just being better each week.
And Jane, I guess to you, are you going to stick it out with the Tactix next year and hope to get that win as captain?
Yeah, I am hoping to. Yeah.
Marianne, one more just along those lines. One of the reasons you were considered favourites was that you brought the whole team back and added a silver fin. Are you hoping to you've seen this group can go close to a final win now?
Yes.
You're hoping to bring back that core, same core again? Yeah,
I think for us, for any team, if you can keep a core, it does work well, because you build on the team culture that you build on the patterns on court that you're doing. So yeah, we'll be looking to bring a core back, and yeah, I think it's good.
And just Jane, one more. Silver Ferns likely be named this coming week. Do you have any ideas of a few bolters who could be in to make their first appearance?
Oh gosh, I haven't even thought about it, to be honest. Sorry. Yeah, who knows? There's lots of potential out there, so it'll be really interesting to see what Knowles picks.